Hello and welcome to a Sherrie with Sherrie. I'm Sherrie Lowe and this is my feature where I talk about all things book, my own books and other authors' books. And today I want to talk about A Lapse of Sanity. This was my first attempt at fiction, following the memoir Shadow Across the Sun. I tried the traditional route to publishing with Shadow and just kept meeting with closed doors. And both my son and my friend said in the same week, "Can't you write something else?" And I said, "No, I can't write fiction." But at the next writing class that I went to, we had an exercise on characterisation, and I found that I quite enjoyed all these characters materialising from my imagination onto the page. So I thought, well, we'll give it a go. We'll have a go at a novel. A lot of ideas churned round my head, but then I saw a handsome gypsy, a lonely gypsy, not your typical fist fighter, bare knuckle fighter, that was the word I was after. And it all developed from a chance meeting in the woods. Chloe and Adam Hetherington have had a life-changing accident. And in this scene, she's gone for a walk in the woods, little knowing that it will change her life. There were more bramble bushes, and she managed to find enough ripe blackberries to fill a pie. Peering into the carrier bag, she wondered whether she ought to pick any more. Maybe just a few, then she'd head home. She'd come to the edge of the woods, bordering on some fields, when she noticed a bushy plant bearing shiny black cherry-sized berries. They looked so attractive she wanted to reach out and touch them, but she wouldn't because she didn't know what they were. However, it didn't stop her looking down to get a closer look. "You don't want to be touching those, they're highly poisonous." The voice behind her made her jump out of her skin. She leapt to her feet and whirled round to face the most attractive man she'd ever seen. A shock of unruly black hair framed a sensitive face with dark brown eyes like bottomless pools that seemed to bore right into her. He put her in mind of her favourite Hollywood star. At his side was a black dog of uncertain parentage and a young fox. I wasn't," she stammered, feeling the need to apologise for her actions. "I was just taking a closer look because they looked so tempting." "Don't ever be tempted by them," advised the mellow-voiced stranger. "That's deadly nightshade." Even the name had an evil ring to it, and she shuddered involuntarily. Of course she'd heard of it but never come across it before. "I wasn't going to touch it because I didn't know what they were, and you can't be too careful, can you? I've just been picking blackberries. Would you like one?" She opened the bag and held it out. Why on earth was she offering this man the fruits of her labours? "Thanks." The stranger took one and popped it into his mouth, a hint of a smile touching the firm line of his lips. "So I wasn't saving you from a very nasty death, then?" She shook her head, returning the smile. "Afraid not." He extended a hand to her. "Nathaniel O'Keefe." She took it. "Chloe Hetherington." Her heart was beating like the wings of a trapped and frightened bird. The cool touch of his fingers sent a current of electricity right along her arm and up into her brain, triggering a chemical reaction over which she had no control. Why on earth was this man having this effect on her? She felt like an adolescent schoolgirl in his company. "Well, I must be getting back," she muttered. "I only came for the blackberries, and I've been out longer than I intended." She moved on and he fell into step beside her, his animals gambling on ahead. "I haven't seen you in the woods before." "No," she answered. "I don't usually come this far. I got a bit carried away today. Everywhere looked so beautiful with the approach of autumn." Just like the poem. Chloe's head whipped round to look straight into his eyes. His reference to the poem touched a chord deep within her soul, a feeling she'd never shared with Adam. "Do you like poetry?" "Yes, I must confess to a weakness for it." "Me too." She shook herself mentally to break the spell. "Do you visit the woods often?" "I live here." "You live here?" She looked back into his face. Oh, the gypsy caravan. You've seen my humble abode then? She nodded. It's very beautiful. Belonged to my grandmother. She brought up 6 children in it. Goodness. Hard to imagine, isn't it? It is rather. How long have you been living here? Couple of years. I move around. She cast a sidelong glance at him from under her lashes. He really was very handsome. He had a presence that was disturbing, magnetic. His clothes, jeans and a sweatshirt, had a jeans and a checked shirt had a careworn appearance. Sorry about all this. Please ignore me, I'll carry on. She could picture him in a neckerchief like a true gypsy, but it was absent. Instead, round his neck, he wore an amulet. He was the complete antithesis of Adam. What was she thinking? Why was she suddenly comparing this stranger to her husband, whom she adored and had never so much as looked at another man since she'd met him? Why that breathless, heady feeling after a chance meeting with a good-looking stranger? She couldn't understand the power of her feelings. A part of her, the sane part, wanted to dash home, get away from him, back to normality. But the other part, the decadent part, wanted to run back with him to that beautiful caravan and have him make mad, passionate love to her. How could she? Her cheeks blushed scarlet at the unbidden thoughts that had invaded her mind. The same part won. I must go, she said hastily, trying to hide the confusion that was fuddling her brain, and ran on, praying that he wouldn't follow her. Jet, Tag, come on. She heard him call to the animals, but not daring to turn, she ran on her way. Her heart had wings. It fluttered and danced, and she felt very young and carefree. His face filled her mind, her senses. Nathaniel O'Keefe. No matter how hard she tried to force his image away, it remained, stubbornly refusing to be erased. Naughty Chloe, having all these wicked thoughts about the delicious Nathaniel. Will she go back into the woods? Or will she be a good girl and go back to her husband? You'll have to buy the book to find out. It's available on Amazon, in paperback and ebook. Thank you for listening. Cheers. Enjoy your day.